G'day traders, welcome to wrap up of Thursday 1st of December. Started the day with still an upside bias. When we looked at the dailies chart, we'd had very much an update yesterday and quite an extended candle. So like when you look at a 1 minute chart, when you get an extended candle like that, you got to think the buyers are around, but at some stage you're going to get some sellers. So that's the way I approach today, expecting to go up, but knowing it's certainly not going to be like yesterday. Yesterday was like a start of a new trend, and a day we're expected just the buyers just to keep on going on with it. But after those buyers having their go yesterday, today is one of those days where you're going to get some real two-sided action. So you can see here, we've opened up, market's pushed straight up like it's been doing just of late. Got quite a bit of noise or a bit of erratic movement there. That must have been just around some news announcements. From there we basically bounced off yellow and then pulled back down to this purple. So this purple, a bit like same situation as yesterday, this kind of similar PowerPoint held the market up and it started to head back up. So once again, this PowerPoint had its chances, had an opportunity certainly. If you want to go with the bias of the buyers, but in the end it didn't hold up like it did yesterday. So that's an indicator that that definitely some sellers are around, unlike yesterday. And from there the market pushed down. So we're pulling back here. Anywhere here we're looking for the market to push back up and look to get a buy or a 5 minute buy or something along those lines, but it never came. It kept on pushing down. So it's around about this area where you've got to start thinking, if the buyers aren't going to come in, keeping in mind that we've got an extended can on the dailies. So like I said before, we've got some sellers that are possibly going to come. When do I start looking for sellers? So it's this stage here, I guess, where you start to have a bit of a pullback, and then the market starts pushing down through PowerPoints again, and that's where you can start to look on the sell side, but still no real opportunities. The predictives aren't really changing on the 5 minute chart, so it's kind of one-sided movements, just up and then down. There's no real decent pullbacks to give you some good opportunities to take some trades. From there the market's just gone sideways. We start approaching the lunchtime period. This green PowerPoint here, I thought this was one of the better opportunities of the day as far as push down. Even though it's a green, typically you'd look for the market to bounce off this. And there were some sellers around, just around here, even though we are still lunchtime, so it's not the best thing to take sell during lunch, but so a bit more of a difficult opportunity. But at this stage here, the moving average was very heavily pointing down, and a lot of the other markets were pushing down, and you had the predictive switching to the downside. So the actual signal, the 5 minute sell, came up right at the PowerPoint there, which is tough because as you can see you get a bit of a pullback, and you're best off taking these kind of trades as a power fade entry. So quite often you can take these a minute or two earlier, so 2, 3, 4 ticks earlier, and taking it back up here would have been a lot better entry. And from there it's pushed down, had a bit of a pullback, and then pushed through and got its 2-3 points. So that's a good example of making sure you get your good entries on the 5 minute trades. If you had waited and you got the entry down here, by then it's maybe just looking a little bit late. Possibly would have pulled back here and stopped you out. So definitely want to take on those trades a little bit earlier. From there the market pretty much hit its low of the day again, started to push up. So this pushed up quite steeply. Everything on the 5 minute charts will point to the upside. So once again, look like the sellers are over and the buyers are in. So we're getting very much two-sided, three-sided action, which we thought would happen based on the dailies. So expected this to kind of continue up and look to go for the highs again. So at this stage here, looking for a buy and looking for the predictive to pull back, which is what it did. And just around here, the predictive, we got a signal here of the predictive, so it was actually a sell, but because of the way the moving average was pointing up, and you can see that definitely the market action's up. So this is the top one where you want to go with the PowerPoint. So this is a nice fade entry. So I'll buy around this area. So it did go sideways, and eventually did pop up. Did expect the market to kind of go on with it and maybe go back up to its highs, which it didn't. It just continued to push on sideways for the rest of the day, and then you can see that's the close of the day there. So just a bit of a slow finish to the day, when I thought possibly it could have headed up, but those kind of things happen with trading. So just bringing over the 5 minute chart. So those opportunities again, you can see it was talked about earlier. The market just pretty much pushed up without any pullback, pushed down again. So we're just waiting for our time. Then from there, this is the sell, which we got during that lunchtime period. So you can see how the moving average is pointing down, predictive crossing down. But by the time the signal comes a bit extended, so that's the one that you want to look at taking a little bit earlier. So that was a good opportunity for the day. and then you can see we've had this uptrend. Okay, then this fade entry here, so the predicted crossing down, but you clearly see the moving average pointing back. So this is the example of, we're pushing up. A fade technically is you want to catch a pullback. So this is not a new trend starting where it's looking to technically point down. It looks like it just wants to continue pushing up, catch that pullback, and then ride it back to the highs, or get you a couple of points out of it by pushing up. So this fade did work, even though the market didn't go on with it and push up higher like expected, and it pretty much just went sideways to finish off the day. So that's the wrap up for Thursday.